Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. We are back from our Christmas hiatus. Either way, I'm Chase Bunker, since I don't have a name underneath mine. But joining me today, he is the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hello, everyone.
One name to rule them all, it's Murph Murphy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And player 4 has entered the game. It's Daniel Clegg.
Hi, friends. How's it going?
Thank you guys for joining me, and thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on podcast, or watching us live on twitch.tv/KBHSpike, thank you for making us a part of your day. We were gone for quite some time. I think it's like the longest hiatus we've ever done. I know we usually take like a good Christmas break, but it was like, holy crap, like a lot of things happened, and I think it was like we took the break at the worst time ever.
What? Something big dropped? Something big occur in Nerddom while we were gone?
There's lots to talk about. We'll talk about Star Wars in just a second. Like, I'm just gonna let you all know ahead of time.
Oh, Star Wars.
Yes. We're going to go flat, like full on, like Star Wars spoilers. So I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time. Like, it's gonna happen.
How about we just throw out a spoiler alert for the entire show that we're probably going to talk about spoilers all.
We're probably going to talk. Okay, so for this entire episode, well, there's going to be spoilers to a lot of stuff. So let's just like
to be spoilers.
There will be spoilers, just like the Daniel Day-Lewis movie, except with blood, but with spoilers. So before we get into
Commander
that,
has a snaky thing under his mask.
there you go.
Commander is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh man.
Anyways,
In The Sixth Sense, he's Bruce Willis the entire time.
Gandalf killed Dumbledore.
I wanted to make that reference, remember, was it you and I had the argument for years? I thought Ian McKellen was Gandalf.
He is Gandalf.
No, not Gandalf. Dumbledore. Excuse me.
Dumbledore.
I
Yes,
thought for
Dumbledore.
years he was Dumbledore, and so like I just kept making that joke, and all of a sudden like, oh, I'm wrong and I'm an idiot. But first off, let's catch up on a lot of Christmas stuff. I'm sure you all had Christmas stuff. I know Murph had a birthday. I'm sure you played like a whole bunch of indie games said how great Gone Home was. But actually, we have a good argument later. Let's go into like Christmas stuff real quick. What did you guys do over break when we weren't talking video games? Curtis, we'll start off with you.
Oh, non-video games?
I mean, you can do video games, but like, what were you doing besides joining me on a podcast to talk about video games?
I see.
Gosh, this is a great episode.
And the next week was my 5th anniversary, my 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
By the way, I
my
approve of
mom
her.
had
Is that
this-
too late? Is it too late for my seal of approval?
Yeah, 5 years. It's quite too late. It's been a little bit over that. Anyways, so my mom likes to get these really cheap, stupid gifts for everybody because they're fun, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right? So everybody gets toys and like dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got me a 50-cent boomerang, and I was like,
I'm in.
I'm like, yes, this is awesome. It's a boomerang.
Is
Of
it bad
course
that I thought it
want
was like a 50-cent action figure, like of the rapper 50 Cent for a second?
That's even better. But like, it's kind of fun to get toys on Christmas. It's stupid,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's $1, so whatever.
Yeah.
So I take it outside, and there's this giant pine tree outside. Throw it the first time, it throws perfectly, and I'm like, for a 50-cent boomerang, that thing came back, and I was like dumbfounded. So I throw it again. It gets stuck 30 feet in the air in this pine tree. And when I mean stuck, I mean it took me 5 hours and a baseball hitting it about 6 or 7 times before it fell down. Because, it was a 50 cents boomerang. I could have just gone and bought another one, but I really wanted that boomerang back.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was my break in a nutshell.
Nice. Murph?
So I got 2 game-related things that happened to me over the break. One was I cannot recommend enough the You Don't Know Jack Party Pack.
Oh, I wanted to get that. I really wanted to. Oh, and I said no because I bought too many other games.
That's a holiday essential, I would have to say.
Is this on Steam?
Yes, it is.
This is on Steam? Okay.
It is on Steam, and what it is it's just kind of, you can kind of there's like a couple games like Fibbage and Drawful is kind of like Pictionary, and essentially you can just if you want to. And the really great thing about the You Don't Know Jack Party Pack is that the controller is your smartphone or your iPad or another laptop, and if you're playing with non-gamers like your rest of your family, they all have those things, and you know it's games like Pictionary, or you add, you make a lie up. So, and they're really fun. It's well narrated, and like it explains every step. So like I can't recommend you that game enough.
Yeah. I was very tempted to get that during the Steam sale, but I was like, I've spent so much money on games. I don't know when I would play this. And yeah, I already feel bad because you got it and you say it's amazing. I wish you would have lied and said it was awful, and I would have felt bad.
And the other thing that my mom bought this. Have you guys seen that pie in the face game?
Yes.
It's kind of like a.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's kind of like a pie roulette, where you put a little bit of like whipped cream on the hand, and then as you can like crank it, and like one crank eventually causes the whipped cream to smash into your face, and there's like a spinner, and you spin it, and you just kind of pass it around. And so I got a pie in the face, but then so did my wife. So
so it was worth it.
Jokes.
Right, worth it? Exactly. But yeah, that's something my mom bought, which was interesting.
That's fun.
And insisted we play.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any funny stories to go along, but I did take a deep dive into Batman Arkham Knight finally. I waited, I would spend now 6 months since the game came out to make sure they got all the PC issues resolved via patches, and it's really, really solid. It's pretty much Arkham City, right? That was the last one. Expanded with a Batmobile, right? That's pretty much it. So more of the same in that department, but it is really good storytelling, which is what you expect in those games. And I'm probably about 20 hours in, and I'm really, really enjoying it. That's really what I've been doing pretty much all break as far as gaming.
Nice.
What about you, Chase?
I'm so glad that you asked. My mom was like boasting about this gift for a while ago, like before Christmas even started, and so she's like, "Oh, I got you and your sister something, some kind of frivolous. You don't need it, but whatever." And I open it up, and it's a tablet, and I thought, "Oh wow, I have a tablet. It's cool." And then I like sit back and I think like, what could I ever use a tablet for? And apparently it's everything, and I'm very behind. Yeah. Like not only like everything, but like it's also an Android tablet. So because I have an iPhone and I've been used to the iPhone interface, and like my girlfriend uses an iPad, so I'm used to the iOS. It's like it's weird, like it's awkward to me. So I'm like, how do I handle? Like I feel like it's something so simple, like the white guy in infomercials that can't handle all the stuff, like, oh no, this tray's unbalanced, I can't hold all these CDs and all that stuff. And so like I'm slowly like figuring out how to use it. Like I got Hearthstone on there, but then it said, oh, by the way,
that was my first question, Chase.
Yes, I got Hearthstone on there.
How many games of Hearthstone have you played?
I played a few because for some reason my computer is a piece of crap and decides to freeze on me, and it froze on me twice while facing Rafam and the solo adventures. And so I'm like, well, this sucks. I'm going to go on the tablet then. Oh, there goes Murph's video. That's cool.
Oh, it's my fault. I'll fix it.
Okay. While you do that in the meantime.
It's up now.
Not on my screen, but oh, now you're good. Hot delays. Oh no, yours was back up. Now it's just default picture. Great. This is what I started.
No, I'll figure it out.
Okay. And so
it's on my end.
I did. I'm slowly getting used to the tablet. My girlfriend and I did a lot of gaming, and of course, there's a lot of spending on games, which I apologize to you guys for being kind of cheap this year when it came to games. I tried to get you what you want. I got Curtis Grim Fandango because my girlfriend and I just beat Grim Fandango, and I was kind of like big on my mind, and so we did that. Got you, Clay, Transistor, because I saw on your wish list, and then I saw Her Story was on there, and I remember our discussion from the night before, and so we literally just like for like a few good hours just now Murph just looks like scrambled porn. For like a few good hours like just watch her story, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And then we also marathoned Ratchet and Clank All for One. Like to put this into reference.
Is that a TV series?
No, it was a video game. It's Ratchet and Clank. Where,
okay.
To put it in reference,
they're making a movie about that, aren't
yes.
they? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
When did we stop playing Heroes last night? Like to put it into reference. We stopped playing what, around 7?
We stopped playing Heroes
7?
I was playing until about 11. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, I don't know when you guys played after
I didn't play with them. No, like when me and you were done, it was around 7, correct?
When we stopped, well, game started around 7, so we stopped around 6:45.
Okay. So at 6:45, we played Ratchet and Clank from 6:45 until about 4:30 in the morning. Like we marathoned it, and it's a lot of fun. Like, we she wasn't feeling very well, so we just did that. But one of the things, if you've never played, you can literally tether to another player. Like if one player's here and one player's here, this player can literally just shoot out a tether and bam, just go right next to the player. Well, she just never did that. She never moved. She just tethered, and that was it. So it's oh, here I go. Here she goes, tether. So she won't do any of the jumping sequences because there's tether for a reason. Yeah.
Exactly.
So she just kept doing that.
Don't you need her to do that though? Like, if I remember correctly, don't you guys have to kind of trade off?
There are some.
I think that's how that game.
A few things, yes, but when you just run around, you can easily just do that.
Oh, okay.
You just reminded me of another game that I just forgot we've been playing, Chase, and that's Yoshi's Woolly World. I've been playing that with my wife, and it's very similar in that instead of tethering to each other, the players can eat each other and poop each other out, and then you're a little egg that you're following the other Yoshi around, and you throw it at things.
I wish someone just took this conversation in context.
It's kind of like what you're talking about. Good co-op game.
It was a lot of fun, and and I know Curtis and I marathoned it as well a few times. But everything it's no one thing. There's always something new every time, and so I think that was the one thing I liked about it. There's always a change of pace. All right, so we talked enough about me and my Christmas, and we briefly touched up on you guys on your Christmas. So how I take an hour to tell a story. All right, Star Wars happened. If you haven't seen it,
yes, it did.
Okay, again, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to apologize. This is full of spoilers. I feel like we've given it almost a month to give everybody a chance to see it. Which, by the way, if you are a Star Wars fan and you haven't spoiled it on Facebook, you are a good person because let's face it, I have a lot of friends who are Walking Dead fans and a lot of Game of Thrones fans. And by God, I don't watch any of those shows, but I know what happens because you guys spoil it. And so
exactly.
And so that's why I purposely watch it ahead of time just so I wouldn't get ruined by a lot of things. And all right, so we'll talk about it now. First off, initially, what did you think, and at how many minutes in did you realize, oh, this is so much better than the prequels? We'll start off with Murph.
I mean, I knew it was better than the prequels a minute in.
But, yeah.
No. When was it? I know there was definitely a point where I knew that this was going to be a good movie. Or I had my suspicions. I had my suspicions in the first scene with the blood on the on Finn's whatever.
Yeah, on his helmet.
On his helmet. By the time when the Resistance flies in over the bay on those X-wings. At that point, I was like, oh yeah, this is a really good Star Wars at this point. I was enjoying myself before then, but that was when I realized okay, cool, we're good. This is a good movie.
That opening scene with the blood on the helmet was the point for me when I felt like this was a very different Star Wars movie because all of a sudden we're seeing things from the perspective of the stormtroopers, of one in particular, but you see a shot from behind them as they charge forward rather than from the Alliance's perspective. You see stormtroopers rushing towards you, which is how you always see it in A New Hope, I think, right? So it's a flip in that perspective, and that really stood out to me in that scene in particular, where I'm seeing the bad guy side of the story. This is great.
And like this is a very like J.J. Abrams style of Star Wars, right? And like I'm okay with that because I like most of J.J. Abrams' films.
But it was also very
really
quippy too, which is what I enjoyed about it. It was funny, like that movie.
Yeah!
Was like it was really funny, and that's not very J.J. Abrams-y either.
That's Disney. That's Disney,
Yeah,
and their writers just
Correct.
making everyone love the movie.
Well,
Like, I mean, very clearly, some of that $1 billion that they, or however much they used to buy Star Wars, was used to buy some writers as well.
Yeah, like
the writing was legitimately good in this movie.
Absolutely.
For me, the moment I knew I was going to like this movie is when Finn and Poe are talking, and they're in the Star Destroyer, and he's like, "I want to join the rebellion." He's like, "You can't fly a plane." He's like, "I can't fly a plane."
I can't fly.
And
I
I was
need a
like,
pilot.
instantly, I was like, "Okay, this is that moment where I'm going to enjoy it," and I just continued to enjoy it throughout. Like they tried to get away, and they forgot to eject this fuel line. And just stupid things like that. It's like, oh, crud, I forgot to do this. And he's like, I always wanted to fly one of these. Just like really dumb moments, but they need more Poe Dameron. Good God.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of Poe Dameron.
Best Bromance 2015.
Yeah. Well, first off, I love how you make them sound like Hank Hill. Whoa! But
oh, well, that's basically what they were. They were bumbling idiots at the beginning of the movie.
A little bit.
Yeah. I think the dialogue was very well done. I liked Poe Dameron in the beginning, or Dameron, excuse me, in the beginning where he's meeting Kylo Ren, which I've been saying Rilo Ken for like the past 2 weeks. If I say that, apologies, dyslexia. He's like, so do I talk? Is you talk? Oh, okay, it's you talking. Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought like, okay, he's gonna be like the new Han Solo. I like how they answered the question. Oh, yeah. I like how they kind of answered the question of where Finn comes from, because my thing wasn't the fact that, like, oh, it's a black stormtrooper. It's, wait, I thought there's other stormtroopers that aren't, like, clones of Jango Fett. Like, that was the one thing that I was still stuck on. And I'm pretty sure there's probably, like, a book or something that's, says, oh, this is what happened to him.
Rebels talks about, the TV show talks a lot about it. Do you want to go on this, Murph?
I'm going to say I can go into the deep Star Wars dive already if you want to go there.
From the perspective of Chase's audience, which is most people who haven't read the book.
Yeah, I'm casual Star Wars fan.
It's good that they touched on it.
Yes. I think, and the base reason is they don't want the same thing that they did to the Jedis to happen to them. That was the big reason that I kind of saw. Also, they're getting really old really fast. So
yeah, clones don't last that, like, have a decelerated lifespan. Like,
just ask Solid
18
Snake.
Years. Actually, yeah, all the clones should be dead by the time.
Yes, by Force Awakens.
Hope comes around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But by the time I think they said Empire Strikes Back, there were no more clones in the Storm.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, by then there probably aren't any either.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, like, I was going in very skeptical because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I knew it was going to be a good movie, and of course after the whole beginning sequence, like, oh, this is already 20 times better than the prequels. I thought it was a good movie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's the greatest movie ever, blah blah blah, like a lot of people are saying.
Right.
But
it's really good, though.
Yeah, it is. Like, I liked
really
Finn
good.
as a character. Like, I don't know what it was, but like, Poe is a good character, and I wish we saw a little bit more of him. We'll probably see him in like the next ones. But I felt like as a character, as a whole, Finn was just so good, and I think that's what was. That's what solidified it for me.
Yeah.
So a little whatever. Poe in the initial draft of the script or whatever, and for a long time he died in the TIE fighter crash.
Right.
And it up to the point where the actor who was playing him was kind of like, well, do I really want to be this guy? And then he kind of made his peace with it. But then Abrams was like, actually, we're not killing him, so come back.
That's good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of
like
killing,
Rey, I think.
Oh, yeah.
More than Finn. Rey was more resonant with me as a character. I enjoyed her story. Finn was cool, and for a while there, I was thinking that maybe he had some sort of Force sensitivity, Jedi something or other, because he got 2 lightsaber battles in that movie. One against awesome stun stormtrooper number 7.
What is the name that people have they've come up with like a title for him? It's like
TR8R.
Yeah, traitor.
His one line is traitor.
Traitor.
Right? Yeah, so against traitor stormtrooper, that was awesome. And then another one against Milo Ken, whatever you say, Chase.
Milo Ken.
To be fair, both of which he got his butt kicked, but you know, I don't think that's the direction. I don't think he's going to be
so either.
Jedi moving forward.
The one thing I was kind of disappointed in was like they kept promoting like Captain Phasma as like one of these like integral players, but it was like you see her maybe twice, and it's like she's supposed to be the new Boba Fett, like she's supposed to be like this awesome character that everybody likes. I felt nothing towards her at all.
Right. I think that might be purposeful though, because if you look back at the episode 4, 5, and 6, you see Boba Fett, and I think he has a line in episode 4, but he doesn't do squat until the later movies, right? Like nothing. Yeah. The second half of Empire, he's there for
about
Han getting frozen.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't fight anyone until episode 6.
And he loses badly.
He loses badly, right, sure. So I'd say it's at least consistent with that if she's the stand-in or the replacement for that character.
If I can I think she's going to move into a much more major role in the next 2 movies.
I hope so.
I think we're going to see her crawl out of the trash pit, somehow get away. We know she's in the other movies, and she's going to be a major menace for them.
That was a great line, though. Is there like a trash compactor or something?
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
All right, so okay, let's get to the real part. First off, one thing I was disappointed in when Han and Leia, like when Han's leaving, I wish Han like looked over to Leia and go, "I love you," and she just goes, "I know."
And she said, "I know."
I wish that happened, and I would have died and be like, "Done, best movie ever," and I would have walked out at that point. But all right,
I've been a little too on the nose.
Yeah, I mean this movie traded a lot on nostalgia.
Yeah, it did.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about new villain real quick.
Sorry. When I described it to Clegg, I said it was weaponized. It was weaponized.
Weaponized nostalgia. That's right.
That was the word.
I'd say you nailed it.
Yes,
because they hit on a lot of points with that.
What'd you guys think of Kylo Ren as the villain? Anybody?
I'm perfectly fine with Kylo Ren. I like emo Darth Vader.
I love emo Darth Vader. I think it's a great. It's different. That's what I
appreciate
about it. He's not.
It's a really great contrast. He's such a. I don't mind that he's a punk.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I liked about him was the fact that, like, with every other villain in the series, like, you see anger, but you don't see rage. Like, and that was the one thing that you got of him, is like you felt the anger and you just like saw the rage in him and just destroy everything. And also the fact that he stopped the blaster like mid-flight, like I thought that was awesome. It's like, okay, that's badass.
That was pretty badass. That was pretty badass. It was.
I'm not getting badass from Kylo Ren.
I'm not.
I'm not saying he has his moments.
I don't think he's actually In fact. So my wife's theory is that the reason that I have no idea if any of this is true, so just spoilery. She thinks that Rey came to Luke's Jedi Academy as a young kid, and Kylo Ren was supposed to be, you're the grandchild of Darth Vader. You should be the strongest Jedi ever. And it turns out that Rey, as a little youngling or whatever, the younglings.
Never say that word again. I hope they never say that word again in that movie. It's awful.
Rey as a young apprentice turns out to be even more powerful than Kylo Ren, and that just drives him over the edge, and he gets basically jealous, and Kylo Ren is not in fact a very powerful Jedi. He is just pretty much the only current Jedi.
That is actually what I believe as well, except for I don't believe Rey was an apprentice because she would have known about certain aspects.
like she would have
Yeah,
remembered
that's
something.
also what I think. I don't think Rey is
I
Luke
think-
Skywalker's daughter or anything like that.
I think
hope
it is
not.
Luke Skywalker's daughter.
I hope
But
not.
we'll
That's
get
such
into
an
that.
easy. That's
It
such
is
an
an easy.
out.
I actually like the Obi-Wan theory better, where it's his granddaughter. It's
Mm.
Obi-Wan's granddaughter. I like that theory a little bit better. It makes sense why the first voice she hears is Obi-Wan's voice and not Luke's or Yoda's voice. So I mean, what I liked about that theory you were just talking about is I totally believe that's what it is. He is kind of a punk. He's not the best. It shows he's not the best.
Yes.
It's just the fact that I'm pretty sure there were Jedi better than him. And that's
Although-
what did it.
Can I defend Kylo Ren for just a moment? Because everyone says he's like this Dark Lord of the Sith. Why isn't he doing better against this upstart girl who knows nothing? To be fair to Kylo Ren, he got shot in the chest with
Yeah.
Chewbacca's bow blaster, which like annihilates anyone else across the room, right? So
Okay, that was the one thing that bothered
No.
me when he just kept doing this. It's like, first off, you're not Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street, so you can't like do this.
Oh.
What's up?
So there's an interesting theory about why he does that.
Stim
It's
pack?
basically he's pissing himself off.
Yeah.
He's
Rage and
basically he's hitting his wound because rage, like Murph said, rage and anger. He's just getting himself more and more worked up because that's where
Pumping
he
himself
draws his
up.
power.
So here's my question, and I'm in one camp, and my wife is in another. I think Finn is force sensitive, and she thinks that Finn is just a dude.
I think Finn is a dude.
Really?
Yes.
I think he's probably just a dude. I think it'd be really cool if he was force sensitive because all the trailers for this movie, you always saw Finn in that pose with the blue lightsaber in the forest, right? Like
Mhm.
that was the good guy Jedi imagery
Right.
we got. We didn't see Rey in the trailers; it was Finn. So it'd be cool because it would sort of be a realization of that. But I also agree.
So
that
here's my thing.
just a
I think
dude.
I don't say Finn is a Jedi. I think he's slightly force sensitive. Like he's not. In fact, he's definitely not as good of a Jedi as Rey. But I think he could be a Jedi, if just not like a good one, like one of the Jedi in the background in the.
See, I actually buy that Poe Dameron is probably force sensitive over Finn. Finn did some
Okay.
cool things, but he never did anything that made me say that is something out of the ordinary.
The only thing I would say is that he's able to fight with a lightsaber, which is generally reserved for Jedi. Because apparently, if you're not at least a little bit force sensitive, I've read somewhere you end up just slicing your hand off.
Well, I'd say with military training, you know how to wield a sword.
Correct.
Period.
Or some
Maybe
sort of
it's
edge
still a
weapon.
laser sword, and he does. Even though yes, Kylo Ren is injured and all that, but he stands up for he's able to fight a Jedi for a couple of minutes.
Well, the only issue with that is, they've kind of talked about what is and what is not canon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the big things that they said was canon was the Clone Wars and Rebel series, where they definitely show people who don't have force powers using something similar to laser swords
Okay.
and not brutally murdering themselves with it. So, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I understand, but the other part I noticed is when Rey gets the lightsaber, she doesn't hit the button. When Finn has the lightsaber, he always hits that button to turn on the lightsaber.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Oh, it's a small detail.
Oh,
So you think
that's
she
a
just activated
super-
it with the force?
That's a really good
She
detail.
caught the thing and it just lit up instantly. When
Yeah.
Finn does it, he always goes like this. You can see him pressing something on
Okay.
the lightsaber.
Speaking of Rey,
Yeah.
how about that cameo
Oh.
with Daniel Craig?
Oh, that was so good.
That was funny.
Like, I heard the voice, like,
It
this
was-
sounds like remotely familiar. Wait, Murph, you have a confused look on your face. Do you not know the cameo?
I don't know. No, what was the Daniel Craig cameo?
He was, when Rey is strapped to the chair and she uses the Force on him, he is the Stormtrooper.
That's Daniel Craig.
That's
Daniel
Daniel
Craig.
Craig. And he literally said, he goes, I just want to be in a Star Wars movie, and I think it'll be fun to do it for just be that Stormtrooper.
I think
There's-
John Williams is one of the people that escorts Poe Dameron
Okay.
to the room where he's being interrogated as well. He's a
Oh, really?
Stormtrooper.
Interesting.
I know. I think it's Simon Pegg is the rations.
Yeah,
alien.
He is.
The rations guy.
Yeah.
That's funny. Got a lot of little cameos in there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the big moment now. First off, two big moments. One, that Star Killer scene with that just pretty much blew the Alderaan death scene out of the water and just like utterly fisted it, and it was like, oh, this is much better. And with Star Killer base, which I'm glad that the Force Unleashed kind of got a little reference with that, but the fact that like they destroyed like a whole galaxy with one laser. Granted, it had the power of the sun, but it was still just like this impressive scene where you're just like, oh, yeah, they're not to be messed with. Okay.
For me, this was just like, okay, they had to escalate from the Death Star. Otherwise, what are you doing? But I'm not in love with the Star Killer base.
Well,
it's
not
gone,
anymore
so
because it's
have to
dead.
Yeah, that's true. It's dead.
It's gone.
Unless there's a clone of it.
From a lore of the universe we're living in perspective, you got to build your base inside of an existing planet, right? Okay, that means unless you know how to alter the orbit of said planet, you can't really move it to a different system to take out another high-priority target, which means either they've built many of these things, which could lead into another Starkiller base in episode 5 and 6, or this is just a really stupid plan in the first place.
No. See, it's not a laser though. It's a
sun.
Shotgun.
No, it's a hyper laser.
So the laser beam can travel through hyperspace?
Yeah.
So can we talk about how stupid
Yeah.
these guys are to build another planet that
Yes.
shoots at things and is like, hey, look, we're right here. I
Very
mean,
stupid. Very
we-
stupid. Third
of
time's
all
the charm.
the plans. It's like,
Third time's the
we
charm.
built two of these things, and the rebels totally blew it up. So what do? We're gonna build a third one, guys. It's gonna work this time.
Listen, the architect of the Empire, now the First Order, is really ingrained in their system. He's set on his designs. He does
He
not
really
like
wants
change.
them.
I gotta. This is what I gotta know. And this is Murph being like, "Whoa, this so whatever alert." So they have to suck in the sun, right?
I know
Right.
where you're going with this. Okay.
And then they say, "Oh no, we only have when they've sucked in the sun, all the light is gone."
Right.
So, what are they orbiting?
Yes.
And how are they not immediately frozen solid?
Yes,
How
that too.
You know,
Yes.
just them sucking up the sun could pretty much terminate life on almost every planet in that solar system.
Here's
so-
here's the other one.
I don't want to get like Neil deGrasse Tyson and like, oh yeah, it has to be this, but the sun is gone. You need the sun.
You know what? It's gonna be really suck. What would really suck is if like you're on one of those planets that gets blasted and you're listening to the Beatles. Like you're just discovering the Beatles for the first time. You hear, "Here comes the
God.
sun." Do 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 do. Oh sweet Jesus! And then you just die.
God.
I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, Jace.
Yes.
You're right.
That is actually really. So,
I mean, it was
guess-
a long time ago. I mean, the '60s were a long time ago.
Galaxy far, far
And
away.
another
But
galaxy
you're right,
far,
it's
far
a
away.
really it's a stupid plan for many, many, many different reasons.
And you know what?
But it was
They-
cool.
It is very cool, and that's good enough. I'm just gonna live with it.
Right?
All right.
Like they really hyped up the laser beam shotgun thing so that it
Yeah.
looked awesome. It took out.
Oh,
do we
yeah,
make- how to make a planet destroying laser beam more impressive? Have it kill 4 planets with one shot.
It's a
All right.
shotgun.
Sure.
Got it.
So in the universe lore of this thing, that was the capital of the Republic,
No.
right? That they blew
did
up.
not show the capital planet of the Republic.
Yeah, they did. That was
No,
Coruscant.
they specifically said they did not shoot the capital planet.
They did?
No,
I thought
What
that was
did they blow up?
Yeah.
I don't
Every
know.
other
It's a priority
planet but
target
the
for them.
capital.
But they,
I thought they said
the capital
Coruscant.
isn't Coruscant anymore.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
It's-
Okay.
I think it's Mon Mothma's planet or whatever. There's this huge thing they did, and they were talking about where the capital is, so on and so forth. They said it
Right,
was not the capital.
because when General Weasley Red Hair
Ha!
Weasley was standing and making his speech, right?
His Nazi speech.
Oh,
Make his
points
Nazi
for
speech, It
Clay.
was all about killing the Republic.
It was, but it's one thing at a time. You need
I guess.
to
Okay.
test drive. You can't just randomly shotgun blast the
I'm pretty sure you can just randomly shotgun blast planets if they don't agree.
It's not on Google.
But I'll ask you guys this. I've been trying to allude to this, but okay, this is the big spoiler. Again, if you have not watched Star Wars, this is the big spoiler. So, if you don't want to hear spoilers, you might want to turn away for about a good few minutes. Or if you don't come back, follow us on Twitter at @that_game_show.
I have what it was. It's called the Hosen system. It's a priority target in the Republic, but the capital is Chandrila, which is the home of Mon Mothma.
Not to be confused with the Lederhosen galaxy, which is full of underwear.
Not important, but...
Okay. So, did you guys cry during that scene?
Nope, but I definitely had a sharp intake and a gasp. And that's weird to do in a movie, for me at least. Yeah. It was surprising to me when it happened. As soon as he walked on the bridge, I kind of knew it was probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But the tension in their faces as they stared at each other, really, I was on edge the whole time, waiting to see what would happen. And then when it did, I jumped.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was going one way, and I could have seen them going the other way, but I wasn't like crazy. I'm not. Put me down as a no.
It was well done, though, for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, like I'm not. It was impactful. But,
correct. The moment
Harrison Ford doesn't want to do another movie.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. But the other part of it, it wasn't that exact moment. It was when Chewie yelled, and when Han said his Kylo's real name.
Yeah.
Those were the two moments that I got a little bit kind of, not like, almost like sad, I guess was the right word, because you could feel that he was deciding whether he really wanted to do this kind of moment, where he's like, do I really want to do this? Okay, well, I should do this. I am his father. Okay, let's do it.
Right.
So,
oh, gosh.
Absolutely. And when the sun turned off, which, as we discussed, is already stupid. But when the sun turned off in the middle of their confrontation, and you could see it in his eyes that he had made his decision. I mean, so the debate I'm seeing is: do you guys think that Kylo Ren was actually tormented and twisted, or do you think he is sinister enough that he was goading his father into approaching him?
I think he's a little emo.
Yeah.
Dude,
I feel like he was legitimately twisted.
I think he's listening to Linkin Park.
I was gonna say Linkin Park. I was gonna say more Dashboard Confessional.
My Chemical Romance.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Hem is emo, but whatever. I love Mike Hem. But
there's nothing wrong with liking those bands.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those like. I think he was like a little bit twisted, and I think he actually was conflicted, and. First off, I love the lighting that they did for that scene where you see like this red brooding light coming up from behind Adam Driver, who I thought did a spectacular job. And I thought he did great, and I love his little backstory as well. If you haven't read it, go check it out. How he started up a acting camp, not like an acting campaign, but he started like an acting organization for military vets. It's really cool. I didn't know that he was a Marine. Like I found that out like hours before I watched the movie, and I thought it was one of those like Facebook posts, and like it wasn't from like any other news source, and so it was like, okay, like
Adam Driver is Kylo Ren.
Yes,
correct.
He was a Marine. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a Marine. Yes, he was like legit.
I did not know that either until later.
Yeah, and so like I thought he did a great job, but yeah, overall, I think as a movie, I thought it was really good. It was
fantastic.
Yeah.
And breaking almost every record there is as far as grossing, right?
Of course.
It's overtaken Titanic. I think only Avatar is left as far as
they're saying Avatar could happen by Friday.
So I think I have to eat my I think I did say I had some doubts, and that I thought that maybe Avengers would do better. But all right.
The second one.
We all kind of said that, though. We weren't really... I know I specifically also was kind of agreeing with you, where I wasn't really sure where the dice was going to land on that.
Well, to be fair to us, we had been burned by 3 movies previously, right?
Aloha.
I mean, and to be fair, it went just about as well as it could possibly go,
yes.
right?
Correct.
We knew that it was like...
But the question...
Sorry, you first.
No, go ahead.
I was like, we knew that this movie was either going to be like exceptionally well done, and we were going to be happy, or we were just going to be mortified. There wasn't going to be an in between. Like we were just either be really good, or we were just going to be like, this is worse than the prequels. And
what are some of your guys' biggest questions from this movie that you hope are answered in the next movie or next two movies? For me, it's the time period between episode 6 and 7 and exactly what happened there.
You can read it.
I want to know.
All there.
Well, it's all, yeah.
I think it's, I don't think what I'm wondering is, I'm talking about when chronologically was Luke's new Jedi Academy established? When was Ben born? So how old is he really? He looks like he could be 20, but he could be 25. He could be 16. I don't really know. When did the betrayal occur? Right? And so how long has Rey been by herself on the planet? You know, that whole time frame is a little fuzzy. So the events that happened in that period is the biggest question for me. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Murph.
I was gonna say most of my questions are more in looking towards the future, like who is the supreme leader, who actually is Smaug. Like how do they raise the stakes even more from the Starkiller base? What's Kylo Ren's next move?
Yeah, I almost wanted to see how he came to be, essentially. Know more about the Knights of Ren.
His fall.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the Knights of Ren, are they all actually a bunch of lightsaber-wielding, Force-sensitive Siths in training?
They are wielding some guns in that scene where they show them it's raining. There are some of them that are definitely holding blasters.
Right, but I mean, are those the actual Knights of Ren, or is that just some mercenaries he hired?
Correct.
And then there's also there's a lot of mystery there.
Yeah,
right.
So
where are they now?
The big joke
VH1 will have a special later.
I was watching it is that Snoke is really 3 inches tall.
I mean, yeah, it could be.
And basically, there's going to be this one scene where someone walks by him, and you're going to see this massive shoe.
He could be a Yoda monster.
So they're like, "Stop it! I'm filming here," or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, that would be funny.
That would be
funny. Yeah. So Murph, to answer your question, the only way to up the ante from Starkiller Base is if the next base is actually in the sun. It's the only way.
Right.
Or
it's
a solar system, and they start throwing planets at other people. I mean,
yeah,
or
how
something.
do you gotta
orbital slingshot.
Good.
I don't know.
Speaking of movies, also, or just to end the topic of Star Wars, another movie that came out recently was I watched Hateful Eight and Daddy's Home, which Daddy's Home's actually pretty funny. Hateful Eight is an incredible movie. I'm not saying I was there's Tarantino. I'm not a big Tarantino fan because there's a lot of movies I haven't watched of his, but as legitimate Western movie, it's good. I really enjoyed Hateful Eight.
Okay.
So
that's good to know. It was getting not negative reviews, but definitely mixed. So
yeah, it was. I enjoyed
it. I saw Fury Road over the break finally, and that was a good movie, not a great movie.
What?
You really?
Disagree.
It's a good movie. When I say good, I say a solid 8.
That's Clegg. That's high on Murph's scale. Fair. That's high. That's high on Murph's scale.
On a Murph scale, that's high. That's the best movie of the year, other than Star Wars, in my opinion.
5 out of 7.
Might be, actually.
I'll give it a 5 out of 7. If you know what I'm referencing, good on you.
Are you considering 9 and 10 to be your great movies, or
9 and 10s are there aren't many 9s and 10s. I don't give out 9s very often.
So what we consider great, Murph considers good. So
yes.
High end of good.
I'm trying to bring down an average movie is a 5,
which is an average score. Okay.
Right. See, so if you 5 is still watchable, even though on most people's scale 5 means complete trash.
Yeah, I mean I think it's also because we're going off of game reviews where 5's just awful, 7's meh. But
right.
what was I gonna say as well?
6 is completely unworkable piece of trash.
Yeah.
Like what? Like, oh, never mind. I'm not
Even
gonna
saying all that, that movie's a 9 in my mind. That's I love
It was
that
a
movie
good
so
movie.
much. But that we
really
can debate that. We can debate that another time, I suppose.
We can do that. That would be actually interesting. Anyways,
it would be. Have you guys played her? I know Murph has, and I know
I need to
Clegg
grab
has
that
I
power
know.
cord. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Curtis has, but Clegg, have you played her story like at all?
Not at all. I was just told to play it for sure today, so I'm
Okay.
doing that.
So it's like I want to talk about it. Man, I gotta go. There's stuff in my throat.
I would hold off because, especially if he's going to start playing it soon, the potential for talking about it another week is pretty high.
Now, another thing you didn't
Sounds
mention,
good.
Curtis, was you played Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah, so I played Tales from the Borderlands. It was just a little while ago. I kind of burned through it very quickly. That game surprised me pretty heavily. Telltale games, they generally are they're good games. I'm not going to say they're like bad games. They're on the higher scale of games. But I'm kind of the way Murph is about movies. I'm kind of about video games. But this one particularly was exceptional. Not only among Telltale games, but I think recent games in my mind in terms of story. Mm-hmm. I liked the fact that there were 2 protagonists. I liked the fact that every episode split between the 2, and they kind of had this cool opening sequence. And the game got dark, like really dark, and it also had moments where you were just like cheering and like super excited about what was going on. In my opinion, this is a must-play for people who enjoyed Borderlands, or people that enjoy that kind of universe.
Do you need to have played Borderlands 1 and 2 to understand the story, or is it more standalone?
It kind of explains itself. I am interested in having Charlotte play through it, my wife, because I had preconceptions based on what I knew. And I think someone coming into it without those preconceptions might have a different outcome than I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something I would be interested in.
But someone like your wife who hasn't played the others would do just fine seeing that universe for the first time.
Correct. I think it makes sense. The explanations are pretty standard. Hyperion lives on a space station. The world down below has gone to crud.
Yeah.
Sure, you're going to recognize more characters if you played the Borderlands games, but I don't think it's a requirement.
Yeah, it's not. Like first off, like episode 1 spoilers, Shay just like scared the piss out of me when when you meet him. It's like, wow, that came out of nowhere. It was. I'm gonna try again to say this without too much spoilers, because like I was very tempted to get you that for Christmas, but then again, it was one of those like. I wasn't really fully sold. Like, I thought it was good game, and then it got to, like, episode 3 and 4, when it's like, okay, now I'm very set in this game.
Correct. Like, the first 2 episodes are okay. They do a good job of building the world, telling you who everybody is, getting you ready for everything. But in my opinion, episode 4 and 5 are some of the best ways to escalate a game that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And with a satisfying conclusion they did everything like at the end. They did some things I didn't love, but they did a lot of things that were just really, really smart and really, really well done. Is it the best game ever? No. Is it a really good game that you should try if you have it? Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons it was so well, and I can't speak highly of this writer enough, because when Anthony Birch wrote Borderlands 2, he wrote pre-sequel, and he also wrote this, so he had his hand in everything in setting up the Borderlands universe. And it definitely, like, I think it was a great way to kind of end off, like, his run, so to say, as head writer of Borderlands. It just, like, it was filled with, like, a lot of funny stuff, a lot of emotion, a lot of great twists. Of course, Handsome Jack's in it, and I thought Damian Clark was incredible. One last go as Handsome Jack. Of course, we say that, but Borderlands 3, anything's possible. Troy Baker was incredible. Same with oh my gosh, Laura Bailey. I almost said Laura Linney. It's like that's a different actor. But
Laura Bailey, just the whole voice cast was fantastic.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick.
So,
I'm trying to remember who played the sister. But
I don't remember offhand.
Yeah. But overall, I just thought it
stellar
was
cast, really good.
Yeah. So would you agree with me in putting that in the Game of the Year nominations?
Yeah, definitely. It was what I can say. It was probably one of the most gripping games and one of the most memorable games I have played this year. Like sometimes, like for instance, Fallout 4. I don't remember exactly the plot details of Fallout 4. I remember very, very, and this is also because I just recently beat Fallout 4. But Tales of the Borderlands clips along really nicely. It's got a lot of good story beats, and I think it tells the story it wants to.
Yeah.
And it's not stretched out. It's not, they knew what they were doing, and, they nailed it.
Yeah,
so
they did a great job. And, wait, you played also Game of Thrones, correct?
I have not, no.
Okay, never mind.
I have a friend who's playing through it, but I have not personally played through Game of Thrones.
Okay. So I was going to see which one was better. I thought you had it.
From what I've heard, the Tales, they're both very good, but in my opinion, probably nothing is going to top Tales of the Borderlands, personally.
But,
so
I would also agree. Reversing the question onto her story, I would have added her story to the Game of the Year list. Like that was a worthy.
It was on our Game of the Year.
Yeah,
list.
I'm fully
It was
like
on the list.
I'll support that. I'm going to support that list.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
And I wish Murph was here because I remember when we were talking about this, you said it's kind of a game, but it's not. I feel like in a way it's more of a game than I guess Gone Home. Just because the fact that there is literally, there's more you can do with that game than Gone Home. For those of you who are joining me, I absolutely despise Gone Home. And I think it's the only reason why I haven't played Dear Esther yet, because they're like, oh, do you like Gone Home? You like Dear Esther. It's like, ooh, I hated it. But,
you might like that one more. It might have just been the main storyline.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so I don't know if Murph's coming back soon.
I don't know either. I would assume he's not. So.
Yeah, he's not in the call.
Well, we've gone through pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we could make fun of award shows and make that game awards, but we could do that in another episode. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure, whether you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch.tv or listen to us via podcast, thank you for making us a part of your day. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You can follow me on Twitter, @ChaseBunker. You can follow the show on Twitter, @that_game_show. You can follow Murph on Twitter, @ThorkNightShow. Follow Curtis on Twitter, @JetBlack710. Spoiler alert, he doesn't post anything. You can also watch the shows live on Twitch, twitch.tv/KBHSpike. Other than that, check out all the other videos I'm done. Hopefully, gonna do a 100 subscriber video because we reached over 100 subscribers, which is kind of surprising, even though 25 of them is probably porn spam. But that's okay. So, other than that, Chris, I forget anything?
I can't think of anything, buddy.
Clegg, did I forget anything?
You're good to go, bud.
Murph, did I forget anything? You're not here. Cool. So, for Curtis Coe, Murph Murphy, and Daniel Clegg, I'm Chase Bunker. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.